Time to make another video. I try to go as fast as I can, but I don't want to miss anything. I'm opening up, and from where I left off, I think the last day was 3/30/2026, so January, February, March 30th, 2026. Okay, so I had a Bible study to go to. The soup kitchen let out. So the soup kitchen let out. I had to go to a Bible study. I had a little time to kill, so I went to the library. And I planned on staying there for like a half hour or so, then going to the Bible study. But that's actually not what happened, because my timing was wrong. I thought the Bible study was like at 6:30 or something, and it was actually at 5:30 or 6. Or actually, it was at 6, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. This is months ago. But my timing was off. So I was like 45 minutes late. So they locked the doors. Even though it should have still been going on, they locked the doors. Or maybe no one even went because I didn't show up. But anyways, what happened instead is I went to the library. I was just going to hang out there until the Bible study started. And this is only a few minute bike ride away, actually, maybe 5 minutes with stoplights. So I got to the library, and I think I mentioned the anime club before. Yeah, so now when I showed up, I wheeled up. I normally never go to the library. I went there when Bike Man invited me. Or he said he'd meet me there to give me the bike. And then he ran off and said something crazy. So then while I was waiting for him or something, then I got a membership. I got the card. So I went in just to kill some time. And they did not expect me to be there. A lot of the Satanists, a lot of the coven members will hang out at the library because they're broke and they're homeless. And they don't have anything else to do. Some of them stay outside and sleep in tents, like at the parks. So during the day, they will go into the library and just play on the computers. They're allowed to use the internet for 4.5 hours a day. They are allowed to be on a computer for 4.5 hours every day. This is an amazing library. I remember way back when I used to go to the library many years ago, they would only allow you to use the computer for 15 minutes. But now, this library where I live, they just let you sit on and I was so surprised. I'm like, we're allowed to use the computers for 45 minutes? And the person was like, yeah. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I just messed that up. So the first time I went to use the computer, and I asked, like, they said, oh, you can use it for like an hour and a half or something. And you can do that 3 times a day. And I'm like, we can use this computer for 4.5 hours a day? We're allowed to use the internet? She's like, yeah, and some people just use it all day. Some people come in and they use the internet at the library for free all day. Guess who this is? It's not people with jobs. It's not mothers with kids. It is the coven. It is the Satanists. They are broke and they are homeless. So the devil has to use public resources to provide for them. They're using taxpayer money, and yes, the libraries are good for everybody. But I'm saying is they specifically set policies and spend money on things which the coven members need, because the devil sure as heck is not going to pay for it. They steal, they rob, kill, and destroy. They destroy. So they have to pay their employees from getting the money from us. And the easiest way they do that is through programs that are funded with taxpayer money. So that's why there's so much woke left stuff, because they use whatever they can to get money, and then they give little handouts to the coven members that are broke and homeless, and they give them pennies on the dollar too. But out of that, then we also get services that are beneficial to other people. But because of all the homeless people at the library, they had to institute new policies. You're not allowed to put your head down, because homeless people were going in the library and sleeping. And you're not allowed to eat in there, because homeless people were going into the library and eating. And why are they homeless? because they are Satanists and the devil does not take care of his own. Anyways, so I just went into the library. I saw the woman from the anime club, and she was in the quiet room where you're not allowed to talk. So I just quickly, I just like said hello and just quickly asked her, or she mentions, or asked her about the anime club, if it was this week or not. And yeah, and she agreed. She told me it was this week, and then we moved on because we're not really supposed to talk. But seeing her there was a sign that I was supposed to go to the anime club this week. And this is like right before Easter, right before Passover. My father sent me money for food. A new witch was just hired at the soup kitchen. I'm getting all these signs like, stay home. Don't go out. And the weather got really cold too. And so this anime club happens to take place at the same time as a Bible study with a witch. And this is the witch that has tried to kill me and puts disgusting things. Like, I believe she places toilet water in who knows, maybe even fecal matter. And this is what some of these witches do. It's disgusting. And I am really serious. So, you know how Oreos are stuffed? Well, they had, and these were homemade. They were done well, but they were homemade. They had something like an Oreo, where there was two like flat outer cookies with filling in the middle, and then it was in a commercial tray, but it was opened. But the icing was a little too thick, and it was just a little bit messy. So this probably took them a very long time. But these were not factory-made stuffed cookies. Like Oreo is stuffed with filling. They were very similar to that, but they had like vanilla cookies and chocolate filling. And I don't believe that it was just chocolate beans in those chocolate cookies, especially since no one else ate one. And not even the children. They put them up so the children couldn't reach, and not one single person ate any of them. No one ate a single cookie. And they were very suspicious. They were in a tray, like somebody had an Oreo cookie tray. And then they purchased flat cookies that were about the same size as the things that are on, as the cookies on the top and bottom of an Oreo. They were like the same thickness and same type of cookie, except for they were vanilla and light colored, so that the filling was chocolate colored. No, I don't believe there was just chocolate in those cookies, especially since they also went and bought a big container of, from our local chicken place, it's kind of like KFC, and had it sitting there. No one ate a single one. And I saw the one woman go to rinse something in the bathroom sink and smile. I knew not a single person touched. They were like, oh, they didn't even want to touch that chicken. I knew they put toilet water. They put toilet water on that chicken. So anyway, she also tried to kill me. But actually, like, the poop cookies, I'm just going to say, okay, this witch made poop cookies and toilet water chicken. No, it was a different witch made toilet water chicken. And then, they sent a killer too. But anyways, so this anime club was going on at the same time. At first, I thought the anime club was before the Bible study. But actually, when I went to that anime club, it was actually, I think, at the same time as the Bible study. So I was going to leave the anime club and go to the Bible study, but then the Bible study, like, had already started. So then I know at this point they're going on at the same time. So then when I just stopped in the library, I see a woman in there from the anime club. There was only 2 people in there when I went to the anime club. There was only 2 people in there. So when I see this one woman that I have never seen anywhere outside of the anime club, and I have not seen at the library before, I know it's a sign from God. I am to go to the anime club this week and not the Bible study with the poop witch. Should I call her poop witch? I don't know. She also tried to cast lesbian spells on me and have me murdered. So, do I call her murder witch or lesbian witch? And this is not being mean, but I think she is single, but she might be kind of lesbian. I don't know. But this has nothing to do with that. Like, I think she's kind of like more, they have these group of men that hate women, so they say single. She's kind of like that, but a woman. So I think she's kind of like that. And she tried to cast lesbian spells on me. She tried to have me stabbed to death. And she keeps trying to feed people poop. I'm just going to say. They have free food at these Bible studies. And then there's also a larger man who has got some mental health problems that comes in. And I didn't eat any of their poop chicken. I didn't eat any of their poop cookies. This man comes in. He goes to all the events with the free food, is what I've been told. He came in, and he went and he ate the chicken. He ate the chicken. And at that point, like, it was too late. Me saying something is not going to help. It's not going to help. I didn't say anything. It was too late. And she was so happy. Like, she even no, do you want more? And she's loading, I'm sure she's loading his plate up. But, I don't like this. But I had a mission to do. And I don't think this was her first rodeo. This man shows up at this Bible study all the time, and he gets the free food. So I don't know if I should call her poop witch or murder witch. I don't know what to call her, but she puts disgusting things in the food, and she gets pleasure from feeding it to people that come into their Bible study. It's called poop witch. And she also but see, God used this for good. She cast a spell over me that I would have an upset stomach. And because of that, it shut down the child operation at another church. So, praise God. So I was at the soup kitchen. Narcissist was nice. Brought me a cheese pizza. The new witch hire. She was real nice. Now, this witch, I don't like to compliment people on what they look like. But I will in this instance. This new witch they brought in, she looks evil, but she actually is a very beautiful woman. And she's not overweight, which is rare. I'm just going to say. She's not drug skinny, and she's not overweight. And so when I went through the line, I think she knew I didn't eat pork. And she told me she's a vegetarian. Well, that could make sense as to why she has a pretty good figure. It's because when you're a vegetarian, you don't eat pork. Anyways. So, there was something going on the Sunday at this building. Someone said they were going to go. They weren't there. Oh, okay. Okay, so actually, I guess I'm a little confused, because what I was going to go to instead, this is Sunday. I think they had a Bible study on Sunday. No. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. So this must be Monday. This must be Monday. Because the anime club was on Thursday. So then the next part of my journal is actually going to this group with Poop Witch. The Bible study with Poop Witch and her poop meals. Like, I'm sorry, this sounds disgusting, but it is the truth. And so, like, last time I went, I just had my own bottle. Like, I had a reusable bottle. I put water in. I did not even try to get any coffee or food. No, thank you. But of course, the one man that comes to all the events did, and who knows what he ate. Anyway, so then I went to the Bible study. They had no water anywhere in this is where they tried to have the man still. They brought in a military veteran who researches the Bible, but he doesn't have love in his heart. Well, anyways, they brought this man in to try to stab me, and I know. So I came in, and normally they have water to make coffee. I've been having coffee there before, and even the first time you go, they give you a little reusable cup to get your coffee with. But there was no water anywhere. And so they even were going to leave. So this was all a big setup. There was no water. And so there was behind this room in the hallway was supposed to be a water fountain. So this was on purpose. They normally have bottles of water in here, which I don't trust anymore. I will never take their bottles of water again. But they normally had new bottles of water that were unopened. But they also know how to put poisons in them. They probably know how to reseal them or something. Anyway, they probably have some machine that can put the cap back on and make it look like it was never opened. But there was no water anywhere. And there was no way to make the coffee. And they're like, well, go check. There's a water fountain outside of the bathroom. And then I go to the water fountain and I turn the lever on the water fountain and it doesn't work. This is insane. The water fountains always work. But what has happened, there is a Bible study planned. This is right before Easter when they're all trying to kill me. My father sent me money for food, which he normally does not do. This is very rare. He only does this when it is very dangerous and I need to stay in hiding. So the water fountain was disconnected and turned off. And like, well, you can go in the bathroom and get water to make the coffee. And I'm like, they know I don't like poop. And they know I don't like bathrooms. And I use napkins. I use paper towels to touch the door handle. I'm not going to touch that. And maybe I am being too extreme. I don't know. But I don't think so. Especially after I've seen a lot of people do not wash their hands. And then they touch that handle. I don't think I'm being very extreme. Because there's a lot of people with a certain type of spirit, a certain type of demon that does not wash its hands. And it gets things dirty. So anyways, they're like, oh, you can get some water in the bathroom. They know I'm not going to. They know I'm not going to. These people, like, research me. They have a PhD and, like, following me around and writing down and recording me. And they know that I am not going to get drinking water out of a bathroom sink. So, and I'm like, oh, and I come back out and, so this is their attack. They always have water. There's no water anywhere. They even had like a gallon that normally has water in to put in the coffee machine, and it's empty. There's no water anywhere. So Poop Witch. I don't want to keep saying this. This is embarrassing. Murder Witch. Spinster Witch. Well, MGTOW are the men that hate women. So what are the women that hate men? Spinster Witch? Maybe I should call her Spinster Witch. What does that mean? Or no, what is a single? Single on purpose, doesn't want to date witch. I don't know. I don't know. But her mother is a high level witch. Well, I think Poop Witch is the best name. I think I should call her Poop Witch. I just don't like to. I don't want to discredit my videos. I don't want to sound ridiculous. But this is what she does. This is more traumatizing than the man she sent to kill me. This is more traumatizing. What she does to the food and drink. Anyways, she comes in, and then she's got some vegetables now. So I noticed the food, they have chicken. So I come in, there's actually another woman there she's got like dreadlocks and she looks kind of like a hippie. And now she's a Christian, but she believes in the blood sacrifice, this type of Christianity, which is, this is not Jesus's religion. This is not the blood sacrifice of a virgin. This is pagan. So this is paganism. When the Sabbath is on Sunday, it's not God's religion. But anyways, so she comes in and has some vegetable. Well, actually, so the dreadlock woman was there and she bought a big thing of chicken. This is what I'm telling you about. She had a big thing of chicken. This must have been like $30 or $40 for this chicken. I don't know. And she said, I already ate some. I'm full. And then most of so she probably ate a couple pieces and then put toilet water on the rest of the chicken. And like, yo, there's some chicken in there. You can have it. And I go and look at it. And, so I go in the room where the food is. And I didn't know how bad the food was yet. So this video is I'm going to be up all night making this video. I don't know. I don't want to, but do I have to be up all night making this video? So I thought the chicken is greasy and I don't want to have to wash my hands. So I actually got some plastic forks. And so I got some plastic fork out to get the chicken so I wouldn't touch it with my hands. Praise God. Thank you, Lord. I would have licked my fingers had it been on my fingers. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for making me so that I don't like stickies or grease on my hands. Because this saved my life right now. And I'm assuming, I do believe it's toilet water. But my other proof is that the other man came in later, and he ate a lot of this chicken, and he was perfectly fine. Maybe he got sick later, but he didn't drop dead, so it wasn't poisoned in that way. So then other people came in after. No one ate any of the chicken. And this is also when they had those poop cookies. But they were up high so that there was like a toddler there. Someone's kid could not reach them. They had poop chicken and they had poop cookies. And so then Poop Witch comes in. And she's got some vegetables. She's like, I gotta rinse it. You want to help me rinse the vegetables in the bathroom? This is an attack. They already know me. I'm like, oh, no. She asked if I could help. Is there something else you need help with? No, I'm just gonna rinse the vegetables off in the bathroom. No. And then I didn't touch. So then actually now they had the pepper. She had vegetables with her, but she only rinsed the pepper. She goes in the bathroom and she just rinses the pepper for a couple seconds and then leaves the bathroom. So now she knows I'm not going to eat any of this pepper. But this food, actually the pepper was not tampered with. So that the other people that came in were all in on it and they knew. And so the pepper was sliced up and they all ate the peppers. They didn't touch the chicken and they didn't eat one of those cookies. But later on, when the big man came in, then he ate a lot of it. And Poop Witch was so thrilled to give him the chicken. And I don't know if he ate any cookies, but I can only imagine the hassle they went through making these things. The cost of the curse. Anyways, so this is not over yet. So they went out to their car and they found 2 bottles of water. I think they were out in the car. Yeah, I've got your poisoned water before. So then they gave it to me and I held it, but I wasn't going to drink this. I knew it was poisoned. They went out and found a special bottle of water just for me. And so I just had it there and I never opened it and I never drank it. Because they have poisoned me with water before. Actually, the narcissist gave me a bottle of water. It was sealed. I opened it and I just took one drink and I could tell there was kind of a plant flavor, a little bit of a soapy flavor, and then I started to feel like I was getting drowsy. Had I drank that entire bottle, I would have been passed out. So I don't know what was in that. So I know they do this to unopened bottles of water. And then I'm trying to... I have to say all this because they try to kill me all the time. Vehicles, go right past me. They try to poison my food. They do try to kill me a lot. But this was that I know of. They have also sent people probably to try to shoot me. But they did have a shooter sent to my house even before. I think even before I went to the soup kitchen, they sent a shooter. Yeah, that was way back. I made a song called 9/11 Blues. And so the police were just right outside because there was actually a shooter and they were just 2 people were shooting at each other and it went into my neighbors' houses. But then a vehicle started to pull into my driveway. So they were probably going to come and shoot up my house. But I was getting up and I was going to go to the police and report this to the police. And I got into my van and my lights were on and they were like brights. So there's 2 light settings on my van. It was still working. This is before I went to the soup kitchen and my vehicle still worked. This is more than a year ago. I got in my van. So my light settings are very dim or like brights. And there's also a bright setting. So I had just my regular light setting on and it was and I'm kind of going downhill. So my car is on, but I have not started moving. I just got in my vehicle, turned on the lights, and a vehicle pulls into my driveway right after these houses are shot. And so I was going to go to the police and report all of these crimes. And actually several hours later I did go. There was 1 cop in there and they didn't care because the rest of the police were just at the end of my block, but they were busy investigating a shooting, so they couldn't talk to me. But They were sent to shoot me. Anyways, so this is the only time I know of they sent someone to stab me. So they were all involved in this. And I was able to give them some information also because that didn't work. See, someone's birthday, it was a man's birthday. No one ate or drank the coffee. No one ate or, oh, this is what I'm going to say. When I went to get the chicken out, I got a plastic fork. And this is when I decided I don't know if I should eat that chicken. Because this is the Lord. This is totally the Lord. Because I had this chicken one other time. And this was at a meeting. When I was told, go get the chicken at the meeting. And I had to walk in front of all these people. And it was very awkward. I did have one piece of chicken and it was amazing. And it was crispy and it was crunchy. So God made sure. This was like a party. It was like a meeting and it was a birthday. It was like somebody was sober for more than 20 years. So I'm not giving out any specifics. I'm not saying exactly how many years. But they had cake, which was used to curse me. And they also had the best chicken I had ever eaten in my life, which was crispy. And it was from the same chicken restaurant. So this is the second or maybe third time I got to eat. I had an opportunity to eat this chicken. And so when I poked it with the fork, I noticed that it was not crispy and that it was soggy. So then I got a piece with the fork, put it on my plate, and I didn't eat it. And I'm thinking, I think they did something to this chicken. I immediately thought that they put toilet water on this chicken. And so I had it on my plate, but I didn't eat it. And they found a bottle of water in their car. So then I went to sit down in the circle with the group. I think maybe this happened a little later after something else. But I went to sit in the circle. And they actually were happy I had the food on my plate, but then I never ate it. I never drank any of the water, and I never ate any of the chicken. And I pretty much knew right away when I touched it with the fork, it wasn't crispy. I don't know if I want to eat this. And then when I saw no one else was getting any, I did not. I did not eat. I would call this toilet chicken. And they spent like $30 on this, and they had to throw it all away. Actually, they fed it. The man that came in later just to get the free food is what they say. I don't know. But they say he just comes into all the groups to get free food. Well, he got free food. He got some other stuff for free, too. No, this is not funny. This is not funny. I don't know if I should tell him at some point. But if I do say something, then it could actually make things... It could cause more problems. I don't know. So... Okay, so, this is when the killer came in. So, they were looking for water. There was no water anywhere. They found a couple of bottles of water out in the car. They brought in and gave me. So then, Poopwitch, I need to think of a better... What is the name of a woman that hates men? I don't know. She was going to go to the store and buy some water. So she left. And now there were like 3 people in there. And then they all leave at the same time. So I am in this this building now. Well, it's several rooms. So the area they have rented, there's like an entrance and it goes into a room. And then there's like a little kitchen area off of that. And then there's little prayer halls. So it's more than one room. Actually, it's 3 rooms and then a hallway with like prayer booths. And then if you open the door and go out, then there's a water fountain and a bathroom. So then I think there was Dreadlocks Woman, there was Poop Witch, and I was kind of talking to both of them a little bit. And then they all left at the same time. And then I was just there by myself. No one else was in there. And I'm just in the area, so the area where the food is. But you still have a clear line of sight when somebody walks into this room. So then all of a sudden, everyone leaves, and then the door opens, and this man comes in. And this man walks in, and his eyes are staring right at me. He walks straight in, and he stares straight at me, and he's walking straight for me. And then I stare my eyes straight at him, and I don't move my eyes away. And it's almost like we float. Or like, it's like we're floating and just move right next to each other like this. I maybe go a little bit forward, but then he goes all the way across the whole room quickly. Right, he like comes right at me like this. And then I had a sense, as soon as he comes in that door, the way he was walking and the way he looked at me, God put a feeling of fear in me. And then as he came near me, I did have the thought, like, I thought I'm going to be restored. But, but it also looks like he might be trying to kill me. It looks like, and so I had a knowing. God just put this fear in me. Like, here is someone. They open the door. They're coming straight for you. They're coming straight for you quickly, and they're going to try to kill you. And then I just stood there, and I didn't scream, and I didn't run away. I looked him straight, he looked me straight in the eyes, and I looked him straight in the eyes. And I said, well, I guess if God wants this, then that's, whatever. If God wants me to die, then it's for the best or something. But I still thought I probably won't, because I've been promised restoration. But there was as soon as he comes in, like, God put a feeling of fear in my chest, and the way he walked and moved towards me, I knew. And also, I had just stabbed my face like the day before or 2 days before. And I do not do this, but I just stabbed myself, and I actually had like a little scab where I had stabbed myself on my face. This does not happen. So then I knew later that when I thought about it later, I knew they had used witchcraft so that I would be stabbed. And but that curse or their spell work was used up when I stabbed myself. It's like God has me use up curses, like I just talked about at the soup kitchen. Somebody urinated on a pad and put it in the clothing donations. So I accidentally touched it, and I had to go wash my hands. Then their curse is used up. Well, this time I had just stabbed my own face. And then this man comes in, and I know he was sent to stab me. He was a military veteran. He was a military veteran. But then we get real close, and then we're looking each other in the eyes, and we start talking. And actually, we had a really good theological discussion. And he was saying things that actually, like, I was learning some things from him, too. He was sent to kill me, but, like, he couldn't do it. He actually was going to, but then, like, something stopped him. I know, and it's probably because I stabbed my own face, and they no longer had the ability to do it. I don't even know how they do this. But I figured enough out. So, and then we talked for a minute. I'm like, oh, they got chicken. And I said, oh, there's no water. And I kind of small talk him a little bit. Then we go in the other room and sit down. So he did come in with the full intent to stab me. But it did not happen. We looked right in the eyes. And then we just went to go sit down in the circle where they do the Bible, what they call Bible study. It's more like a prayer time. Prayer circle. There's no set rules for this group. But then I had my plate with soggy chicken. I said, there's no water. I was going to make coffee. Like, so he didn't want coffee. He brought his own water. He knew to bring his own water. Well, I brought my own water last time. So then then we're sitting down, we're talking for a minute or two. Then dreadlock woman comes back in, and then another man who has tampered with the meatloaf, put God knows what did I eat? What was in their meatloaf a couple weeks ago? I don't know, because I ate it and I got sick. So who knows what they put in this meatloaf? He said, I did a bad thing. And then I know he made the meatloaf. He told me he had made the meatloaf, and he said, I did a bad thing. And I got sick after I ate the meatloaf. So, anyways, then dreadlock woman comes back in. She's the one that brought the chicken. Then this man Meatloaf Man comes in. I noticed he's around food preparation an awful lot. Is that the Ohio? He was volunteering at the Revive Ohio event, and he was there where they were serving the food. So who knows what he did to the food? But actually, I didn't get sick from any of it, and it was good food. So I don't know. But anyways, and then they come in. So then maybe they're like, and then a couple other people. So now there is the killer, who is an older veteran. He's not very big. He's bigger than me, but he's not like a huge person or anything. But I can tell he's a military veteran, and he said he was. But also I could, because there's a look where he wasn't fat. Like, he was skinny, but he had muscle still. So he had like a kind of a body composition of someone that was a soldier. And he had a very stoic look, very serious compared to a lot of these people. He wasn't a soft beta, but he was old. So, but he was a military veteran, and he had killed and knew people that were killed, and was probably one of the few people they could easily hire to kill me. And anyways, then he's sitting down, and I'm sitting like 2 seats down or next to him. I don't even know. We're kind of like just, I think I'm sitting 2 seats down, and then we were talking a little bit, and it's a little awkward, but we actually we're able to talk quite a bit. And then Dreadlock Woman comes in, Meatloaf Man comes in, a couple other people come in, and then they have to start the Bible study. And this is all the honest to God's truth. They had started. I think they make these groups. So these are devil worshipping satanic covens that they don't worship Jesus's religion, but I think they create Bible studies and they create churches to try to get me. This is what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but it really looks like it. Because then it was time to start the Bible study. Killer is sitting there. Should I call the veteran? I don't know. Well, the killer is here, and I'm sitting there. Dreadlock Woman comes in. Meatloaf Man comes in. Woman with a health problem, someone else comes in, and they sit down. Now it's time to start the Bible study. They have nothing prepared. They have nothing. And before, they would come in and it'd just be no big deal, or they would just start talking or pull up prayer verses or start reading. This time, they were like, and they had no idea what to talk about. And Dreadlock Woman was like, she had nothing prepared and did not know what to talk about. They were expecting me to be killed, and they were going to be moving my body or cleaning up the mess or something. And they do have a couple probably have a couple cops in their pocket too. I don't know how many. But if they have an old veteran who doesn't have too much time left to live, comes in and kills me, and he thinks like this gets him to heaven and he's doing the will of God because of what they have said. Because of what they have said. And I'm not claiming to be the only person like me. As I have said before, there could be someone like me in every city in the entire world. I don't know. But if they bring in an old military veteran who spends his free time reading the Bible and memorizing scripture, and he's worried the apocalypse is coming and people are going to be getting their heads cut off, and he thinks by murdering me is fulfilling prophecy, then he doesn't, if he goes to jail, then I don't think he really cares. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think he really cares if he goes to jail, because they brought him in to try to get me again, and he was talking about the apocalypse and judgment and all how horrible everything's going to be, and they're going to be cutting people's heads off. So I put all this together. He probably didn't care if he went to prison. He was concerned about the Bible. He was reading the Bible, studying the Bible, and doing God's work was more important than not being arrested. So anyways, now they have nothing prepared. They're all weirded out. But actually, Dreadlock Woman was talking about certain things, and she was talking to another pastor, and she had questions about why this stuff in the Pauline doctrine, why does it seem to contradict what Jesus said, and why these are different. And I was able to give that, even though she didn't ask me. She mentioned that, and then other people were talking. And then these people are all mad at me. I wasn't killed. I was still very much there. They were disappointed. But then they had to think of something. And just during the hour or two that we were there, then Dreadlock Woman did mention she was having trouble, like, with what she read that was in the Bible, that was in the epistles of Paul, that was a different meaning. It was different than what Jesus said. And she was trying to ask the pastor, and he was able to answer some of the questions and stuff. But I could tell he wasn't answering it all the way. He was kind of doing what he could to clear things up. But I had the answer. So then a few more people talk, and then I talk, and I give her the answer that she needed. So hopefully this will help. But also what I said, the killer actually heard. And he agreed with, he heard it, and he's like, oh, you mean like progressive Christianity? Because like I'm saying that what was in the epistles of Paul, like this stuff was from God, but it, just over time, like if things conform to the status quo and with the cultural beliefs and so I don't remember exactly what I said. Then the killer actually looks at me and you said, oh, like progressive Christianity? And I said, yes. So I could tell, like, because he sees this happening in the church now in a different way. And he heard that and he agreed with what I said. And he was glad to hear that. And it answered it not only for her, but for him. But actually, the Bible study started. Dreadlock Woman was, I guess didn't have anything prepared and she was going to start and was like, And so actually, then when the Bible study started, the veteran killer actually was talking a lot. And he was just talking for like a half hour and discussing a lot of things. And he can go on and on, I'm just going to say. But it's actually like, it's interesting, the things that he talks about. So I thought it was actually pretty good to hear what he had to say. And there's a way that he puts stuff together. It's almost spiritual. Like, it's very religious. It's just, so anyways, I've only gotten down this far in my notes. I'm gonna have to fly through this. This is like 45 minutes at this point. So they talked about, so the old killer was talking quite a lot. And then he also said something while he was talking, like, what if Christ was not crucified? He said, what if Christ was not crucified? And I know he was talking about because he was sent to kill me and he didn't kill me. And he also said, like, what would have happened if Christ wasn't crucified? And then they mentioned how because Christ was crucified, like if the demons knew what would have happened, they never would have done it. And he brought that up and he said, what would have happened if Christ wasn't crucified? When he decided, or something stopped him, he was not able to go through with it. But I would have put up with a fight. He probably wouldn't have been, it would have been a fight. That's all I'm going to say. But God wouldn't have allowed it. But he also chose not to. And then he mentioned this and said, what if Christ wasn't crucified? Now, the 144,000 all might be called Christ. So I'm not trying to claim anything greater. But I just don't know. But I know that what pastors have said to me, what other people have said about me, is I know that God calls me Christ, but it could be all of the believers are also called Christ. So all of the true believers might also be called Christ. So I am not trying to claim anything that's not true, but I am claiming is that I am called Christ by God. And that pastors have said this about me. They have mentioned things about me. And then this man that was sent to kill me just said, what would have happened if Christ wasn't crucified? So it said, rose the third day, would have never crucified if known what would have happened. And this was in Corinthians. They had to mention, because these people in their religion only accept the New Testament. You can see in their groups they have made Bibles with no Old Testament. They have Bibles with only the New Testament. They don't accept, Jews only accept the Old Testament. And then these pagans only accept the New Testament. So the Poop Witch does come in later, and she's got her mother, and that's when I find out some things where she says she had said before, a lot of the reason the way I am is because of my mother. Her mother comes in this time. I have never seen her mother before. Then like a half hour later, so like an hour into this Bible study, her mother shows up. So then I'm actually imagining that her mother was behind the hits on me because she's probably a much higher level witch than her daughter. Poop Witch's mother is a much more evil witch, because Poop Witch has done really horrible things, but she doesn't look that evil. Her mother looked much more evil. But her mother had a lot of health problems and needed trouble walking in and getting in there. And I think one of her eyes was damaged. Something was wrong with one of her eyes, and she had a lot of health problems. But she came in like an hour after this Bible study was supposed to start. And of course, all of them are kind of like, they're not happy. They're trying not to talk. They're trying to ignore me. And like, I still answered and responded, and they didn't like, but they heard, like, now actually the killer was listening to me. He was receptive. He was big into the Bible, and he was listening to me. But the other people were kind of trying to ignore me, but they still heard what I said, and they liked the answer they got, but they didn't. So maybe they're a little bit placated. Well, I guess the day they tried to murder me and have me stabbed deserves a bit more time. um, so, anyways, the day that the killer, I'll say killer because there are other veterans I met later that did not try to kill me, and that I met a veteran seemed like a good man. So I would say that the stabbing, the knife man, I don't the assassin, assassin. So he actually converted on January 17th. And he says, January 17th. And he said, this last time I saw him too. There's the 17. This was meant to happen. When I add up the whole date, including the year, so if I add the month number, the day number, and the year number of the day he converted to Christianity, it adds up to a 33, which would say 33% of the angels fell. So there is that number too, but I'm not going to say the exact year. So the mother witch comes in, and her health is bad, and she has to prop one of her legs up. Her daughter comes and gets something so she can put her leg up, and it's swollen. She's got a lot of health problems. One of her eye is damaged, and she is following the Pauline doctrine. But, you know, maybe me being able to answer their questions, and she might like, too, that I'm a woman, because the devil has lied, and they have lied so well that they believe their own lies. And so even though the devil is behind a lot of the sexism, they almost think that it's God now. It's so weird. So, I mean, maybe, I think maybe they lie to their own people to get them to join. Like, look how sexist God is. Priests are only men. And that's how they get a lot of young, naive, teenage girls to join covens. Because they are traumatized and abused in these fake Christian churches. Not all of them. Some are good. Some are good. But some did not even want women to pray. And some, when they say, oh, men lead women, well, you are a sex slave, you're in a polygamous marriage, you know, you don't have any authority, you're only valued for your beauty, you're the source of all sin, all of this junk, which is pagan. And they see in witchcraft the women rule. So maybe this mother witch, having seen that Christ is female now, has they still try to get me. They're still trying to kill me. But maybe she liked it just a little bit. I don't know. Okay, so when I was at the other soup kitchen, I'll call Coffee Man. There's a man that volunteers there. Some of the volunteers have been involved. They don't like me. He kept giving me coffee, and then brought me another coffee. And then they're like, oh, get these shoes, look at these bags, get all this stuff. And then he came to the table right next to me. I'm there with Sun Hat Man, and he says something about a dead bird right next to me. I know, because a man outside of the free Sunday breakfast tried to speak this dead bird curse over me, and I flipped it. So I know what this is. So they did. It was about a dead robin, and I couldn't understand what he said, but he said something about birds leave when not getting fed. I know this sounds silly, but maybe one day I will understand what this means, or someone will hear this and they'll know what this means. Simple. Believe what God says. Jesus' name is the Word of God. All of our names is the Word of God. I just added that. Birds leave when they're not getting fed. Simple. So one of the pastor has problems with Paul. Oh no, this isn't the pastor. This is Dreadlock Woman has issues with Paul. And she talked to a different Bible teacher, and he gave his perspective. But I could tell she was doing better, but she was not 100% satisfied. I was able to give her an actual answer. And also, the assassin liked the answer. Hebrew chapter 4 or 1 John 4. Actually, Dreadlock Woman mentioned there used to be a demonic portal. Maybe she thought her house was haunted, but then she moved, and then that was haunted too, and she realized she was the demonic portal. This is what Dreadlock Woman said. She's accepted Jesus into her heart, and she is now a mainstream Christian. But she realized, like, her house was haunted, she moved, and it was still haunted. She realized she was the demonic portal. And she was haunted from when she used to do drugs in her past. But I was able to inform her about Paul. So if anyone who has done drugs is now a demonic portal, because that is actually taking their sorceries, it's like when you take the drug, you're actually just allowing demons to possess you. That's what it is. And then the demons make you happy. They know how to, they like pull on your dopamines, or I don't know what they do. They like activate a dopamine switch in you, and then they give you less and less. It's all demonic. Everything is spiritual. So then at the end, there was a woman who had health problems. She did a very powerful prayer, and this was tailored to me. Some of these people, we all have spiritual gifts, but she had like a gift, like where the Holy Spirit, she said the Holy Spirit would speak. I asked her, the Holy Spirit would speak to her and tell her what to pray about. And she prayed to unveil the hidden ones to be used by God. And when I got baptized, the pastor there said I was a hidden one. I'm hidden. Apparently, but all the enemies know where I am. To be used when speaking, gave a healing anointing. She prayed. A few pieces of the puzzle left to fall in place. Wait while it's finishing. There's anointing of healing. Restoration is in a cocoon. God's children all over, healing, all over, ready to be unveiled. Her prayer, it just came direct from the Holy Spirit. God's children all over the world are ready to be unveiled. And then it was Meatloaf Man's birthday. Maybe this is somebody else. I don't know. This woman it was a health problem. It was kind of like, I don't want to say too much, but it wasn't good. And I talked to her a little bit about healing. She seems to agree with what I say. Like, they know already that we will be healed in the future. We talked about Pharisees and Jews. So there was actually 2 women there and a walker, and they both had health problems. And maybe they thought by killing me, they could get their health back. Maybe they make some deal with the devils. I die, and then they can walk. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Maybe not. But this is the time that Poop Witch was surprised that I got antibiotics. I think I talked about this in the last video. So, like, when it was all wrapping up and it was time to go, and I was back in the kitchen area, and I saw the cookies. I didn't eat anything. And then I mentioned that I got antibiotics and stuff. And she was surprised. So the water was poisoned. The food was tampered with. and the vegetables were rinsed. One of them was rinsed in the bathroom, and so the other people, like Dreadlock Woman and someone else, they were just eating the vegetables. And actually, Poop Witch brought a plate of vegetables for her mother, but none of them ate the chicken, and none of them ate the cookies that were stuffed with brown filling. But then this actually, towards the end of this meeting, the big man comes in. And they like, oh, here, take it. They were thrilled to give him a lot of this food. Oh, this is horrible. This is horrible. Like, how do I even tell him this? Oh my gosh, maybe I don't know. Okay, so now we're on the next date. January, February, March 31st. Okay, so I go out my front door. Someone has placed shoes in my driveway, and they look like a pair of shoes that I would take like slides. Someone just put shoes in my... And there's another car parked right across the street. Like, they got these black SUVs. And these people aren't poor. So whatever agents these are, they've got like $60,000 cars. But anyways, there's somebody sitting there. They put shoes in my driveway. I open my door. I walk past them and look at them. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to pick that up. I know it's a curse. And they've been trying to kill me. So if I take a $5 pair of slides, then you're going to be allowed to murder me. You think I'm going to pick this up? They just tried to kill me the day before. So no, I'm not taking those slides. So I go back in and I leave them. And the car drives off. The car drives off. But yes, there was a black SUV watching and waiting. And then... So the witch at the soup kitchen, I was late. They were watching. See, a woman from another church who I thought was nice and wanted to help, but maybe not, was there. Oh, this is Pancakes Day. This is I think pancakes. Oh, yes. They tried to kill me again. My father just sent me $100 for food. I should have ordered the food and been eating. I should have been staying at home. But boy, God has really taught me. God has taught me. And actually, I think I was supposed to go through all of this. But now I know in the future, not to go out. I mean, because these were also missions. So this is nuts. So like the woman from the church that was nice and seemed like she wanted to help me. She comes out with, so there's like food, and it was fried pork. And so I don't have very much food to eat. And because I find out the other stuff that's been fried, it's fried in the same vat as pork. And I thought they said this was turkey before. They were probably lying to me, because they've been serving these fried things for quite a while. And they said it was turkey. Well, I find out today it's pork. So I don't have very much on my plate. And so this woman that seems nice from the church, where all the witches and warlocks are, then she comes out. She's got a big tray, and it's got these beautiful pancakes on it. And she goes to me first. And she gives me a pancake. Oh, do you want syrup? It's a huge pancake. And I'm going to be happy, like, praise God. Praise the Lord. Like, because the pancake is like this big. The pancake is like this large. Seriously. And it's like perfectly cooked. It looks beautiful. She comes straight to me, gives me the first pancake, then goes to everyone else and gives the rest of the pancakes out. Well, I noticed as she was getting my pancake, it had some little black speckles in it. And it was only, and she lifted mine up, put on my plate. The ones underneath did not have black speckles. So they tried to get me again. And they actually did hurt me, but God did not allow them to kill me. So this woman from the church, who looks like a very nice woman, knowingly or unknowingly was involved in trying to murder me again. So she comes out with these beautiful pancakes. They know all the food at the soup kitchen today is pork, so I just got a few little sides. And I get the only pancake with little black speckles in it. And of course now the new witch is working there. So I actually think I think they did feed me some pork. So actually, I did have some fried things that were in the same vat. So I think I was influenced by pork spirits. I'm gonna say, like, I never get pork. I try not to get pork, but they trick me and they lie to me sometimes. And that's not a sin on my part when they trick me and lie to me. But I still have to apologize to God. But it's not a sin if they lie to me. But I still like tell God I'm sorry. But God did all this on purpose. So they gave me stuff that had pork spirits in it. And I would never willingly choose to get something I knew was contaminated with pork. But I found out after I had eaten some that every other time the same looking thing they said was turkey. And this day they said it was pork. And then it was right, and they looked the same. So they had probably been lying. Well, anyways, I think they gave me some pork spirits. And so actually I was like kind of angry. I could feel like I was kind of like, I was being more straightforward and more aggressive this day than I normally am. I was being quite assertive and aggressive. And maybe God planned for all of this to let me know as a learning experience, because I do not disobey the Lord. God allows people to trick me so that I can learn what changes in the body when you eat pork, or some of these pork spirits. And so I think they got me to eat something with pork spirits in it, and then I was like a little aggressive and a little rude after eating this. And God showed me that's what happened. So this was supposed to happen this day. And I could see how somebody eating this every meal might have some serious issues. So I'm trying to find what's going on here. So then I actually I start to eat the pancake and I break it apart. I've eaten a little bit of it. So I've eaten a little bit of it. I break it apart and like it just looks like there's metal shavings in it. It's just like most of it's fine, but then it looks like there's a few little metal shavings in it. And then I break it apart. So I've got this pancake like on my plate like this. And I started to eat a couple bites around where I saw black dots. I start to like pick at it and eat a few bites that don't have black dots on it. And then I start to break it apart and look at... I can't make this stuff up. I'm not a screenwriter. Like, who could make this up every day? This is your proof. And then I break it apart, and this is the honest to God's truth. Then I find a tiny... This looks like a tiny little screw. It is this long. So it's this long, and it's a little black screw. Well, I thought it was a screw, and I poke it, and it's hard. And I think I even touched it. So at that point, I get up, and I go to the woman, the blonde woman, who had the tray of pancakes. I go up to her, and I said, "Who made these pancakes?" I said, "Oh, this man is helping out today. And I said, and he poisoned, there's metal shavings in my pancakes. There is metal shavings. I said, "Who made these pancakes?" He said, he's a good Christian man. He wouldn't do anything. Yeah, he's a good Christian man, a good Christian at this church. Very good man. Yeah, and that's why they want to kill me. Because they believe, like the pagans, that through killing me, they get to heaven. But he's like, he's a good man. He wouldn't do that. And I go up and I'm this is why I think it's pork spirits, because I was mean to this woman. I was mean. I go right up to her and I said, "There's metal and look, someone put a screw. There is a screw in my pancake." And then a man walks by. I think the manager of the soup kitchen walks by and he tries to grab it off his plate. And I move my tray. So, like, I think the manager of the soup kitchen is like, "Let me see that." And he walks by and he tries to grab it. And I take my tray and I swivel it away. And I said, "No, I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to take this screw with me." And then I go back and I look at the screw. And it looks like a little screw, but it doesn't have any threads on it. So, and it's shaped like a screw, but it's more like a nail. But it's like a nail that's wider, like a screw, and it's little, and it's hard like metal, and it's black. I said, I'm going to take this with me. So then I got a napkin and I fold it up into a napkin and I put it in my pocket and I take it with me. I am going to take this as evidence. So anyways, then I don't eat the rest of the pancake. Most of this beautiful pancake is wasted. Everyone else got perfectly fine pancakes. Like, oh, it must have just been grease from the pan. Oh, it was just some burnt stuff on the pan. Yeah, that's why you gave me the first one. And the rest of them were fine. Well, probably what I can imagine, if it's the one on the top, which is the first one, you made all of them normal, and then you put your metal shavings in the last one that you made, which would have been on the top. And then you came straight for me to give it to me. And I said, they mess with my food every day. He's like, he wouldn't do that. He's a good Christian man. Are you kidding me? That's exactly who does this to my food. The Christians are more dangerous than the serial killer. But then, actually, I was planning to take a shower this day. And I did not have my shower yet. I guess I got to the soup kitchen. I was going to eat my lunch and then take my shower there. So then I already got my shower bag with me. And I've got the napkin with the little screw in it. And actually, like, so when I was going to put the screw, well, it's actually more like a nail. But now I think about it, what is like, it's like a little railroad tie, like a little stake. Or so it's more like a wide nail, like a railroad thing. I don't know, like a cast iron nail. I have consumed a little bit of these black, what I thought were metal shavings. But then as I go sit back down with my tray. This is when I'm putting it in the napkin. Then it was hard and it felt like metal. But now it's been a few minutes and now it feels like a tree branch. It's not as hard anymore. It's still black, but it feels like a tree branch. And I'm like, oh, maybe I was wrong. And then I fold it up and I put it in the napkin. Then I go to take my shower. I go to take my shower. And this is a small room. It's got a chair. So I sit my shower bag on it. I take the napkin out of my pocket. I think it's in my pocket. Or maybe I put it in my bag. And so it's in my shower bag. And it's not, just to make sure I don't accidentally put it in my dirty clothes and it gets lost. So, at first I was really sure someone has put metal shavings in my pancake. It feels like a hard metal screw. But then I looked at it up close and it didn't have any thread, so it was like a little nail. And then I go to wrap it up and it's like, feels like a tree branch where it's still hard, but it's kind of flexible now. And I'm like, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was too rude to this woman. And then I get my shower and then I get out of the shower, I get dressed. And then I'm going to look at this napkin. After my shower, it's been like 45 minutes now. Because I took my time. I took my time. Then I get the napkin out. And I open the napkin up. This is the honest to God's truth. If someone knows what kind of witchcraft this is, I don't know what kind of witchcraft this is. But it was a little black screw. It was small. And it felt like metal. Then it felt like a tree branch. Now it's been 45 minutes. I open up the napkin and where I had it folded it around it. And then as I open it, there is what looks like a bunch of blood. Bright red blood. Like from a fresh cut. And it was very thick. But it was exactly the consistency of thick, bright red blood. There is no way this came from a black screw. It was more volume than the screw was. So I open up my napkin and it's like almost like if a tooth came out and then you'd have a bunch of blood stuck to the tooth. That's what this looked like as I opened it up. The blood was like sticking from one side. So I'm trying to do this. Like I opened it up. The blood was as I opened it, the blood was like kind of gummy and it was going from one side of the napkin to the other. And I'm like, this is magic. I open it up. Now the screw, now the nail Now it's a nail. I went up to the woman right away and I said, someone put metal shavings in my food. They try to poison me. They try to kill me all the time. And the churches do this. She's like, oh, we wouldn't do that. But she did. I'm exaggerating there. She's like, oh, he wouldn't do that. He's a good man. And then I open up the napkin and there is blood. Bright red blood. And it's exactly the consistency and color of blood. There is no fake blood that looks like this. And it was in a napkin. And then I know this is magic. This is witchcraft. There is no way, like, I don't think any science experiment, no chemicals can do this. It was a tiny nail. This is right before Easter. This was right before Easter. They were trying to kill me. They gave me the pancake. And there was a little nail in it. Then I open it up, and it has turned into blood. And I know how they cursed me. Whether I wrote this down or not, I was having problems for a few days after this. So, So anyways, outside is Puppy Man, who is the homeless man who is mentally unstable, who now has puppies. He was actually doing much better once he got the puppies. Well, he was changing as he was taking care of those puppies. His stuff outside was stolen. I saw the blonde woman met me outside, said hello, food was... Oh, this isn't the blonde woman. This is someone else with the same name. Okay, this is a woman who invited me to her church. She met me outside and said, hello, the food was good. Did you get $20? Like, no, I never do. Sometimes the soup kitchen, somebody comes in and gives out $20 to everybody. And they only do this when I'm not there. I was going to the soup kitchen every day for like 6 months. And I went there like every day for 6 months. And there's only a few days I didn't go. And when do you think they give out the $20? When I'm late or when I don't go. And I think they're trying to get me, they're like, oh, it's all gone now because you were here later. Like, I said no. But I think, but, you know, it was like a little disappointed, but then I said, well, if God wants me to have it, I would get it. But it's like, no, nobody gives anything for free. So now I know that the people in the soup kitchen were being paid. And they weren't being given that money for free. They all come after me. They all do things to me. This is how they are getting their $20. This is some rich devil worshiper comes in and gives them all $20, and then they all got to attack me again. And if they don't, then they get attacked. If they fail, they get attacked. It's never a good deal. But then I showed up. So basically, the woman just let me know everybody got $20 except for me. And this, I think, was just to disappoint me. And she also said the food was good, letting me know that she ate pork. Like, yeah, that's nice. You're probably not the... If you say you can see these things and you're a prophet, you know, like, she's saying that she's great and she doesn't have friends. And I keep finding these are lies. And she's eating the pork. So she probably is an enemy. That's all. I thought she acted like... The way that she acted like... It felt like we could have been friends. But all the signs were showing me otherwise. So, oh, I said, okay, when the woman in there said, he's a good Christian man. I said on purpose, mess with my food every day. Good Christians try to kill me all the time. The staff tried to take the screw, which later, I wrote this down right away. Later that night, I realized when I looked at it, actually was a nail. And now I realize it's symbolizing the crucifixion of Christ, like the nail through the hand. So, okay, I also told a woman about the skunk spray. I'm like, why would... so the blonde woman, I told her about my dog was sprayed with skunk spray. Skunk spray. She said, why would people do that? I said, a lot of witches. And the verse of the day was Matthew 5:10. Blessed are those... So at the soup kitchen, they had, at least at this time, they were doing a different Bible verse every day and doing a mini sermon before the food was served. So there was a dry erase board, and the verse was, even though I was there later, I wasn't there for the verse, or I wasn't for, I missed the sermon, but they still serve food for a while. So the verse is still written up on the dry erase board. And the verse said, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And also, I had suggested to somebody else to put lockers. So there was somebody wanting to think of solutions for homeless people. And they mentioned getting beds and getting a building. And I mentioned cots. Cots are cheap and they're not going to care. They just want heat, and they want heat, and they want air conditioning. I said cots would be cheap and a lot easier than trying to get a bunch of beds. And they also mentioned like getting lockers. It's like you can find free lockers on Facebook Marketplace. Well, now this day when I went into the soup kitchen, they have installed lockers. They were bringing lockers into the soup kitchen, and I know because I told somebody there. I was talking about lockers as being a cheap way to store your belongings and lock them up and keep them safe. And this is actually Puppy Man was homeless, and he was staying on the outside of the soup kitchen. He was just staying outside the soup kitchen, and his stuff was stolen. So right after this, they heard me mention the lockers, and they got lockers. So then Puppy Man would have been able to lock his belongings in the locker. So I would have really benefited from the lockers, but they didn't show up till after I didn't need them. But actually, like, this is how God uses me. So I know what the people need. Because I was in a situation. And so I knew that lockers would be a really good thing, especially like if you brought a bag with you and then you got to get food too and your hands are full and you don't have a place to put things, or if you want to take a shower, but like it's just too much to bring in the bathroom, like being able to lock things in a locker, that is wonderful that they have done that. And that was because my advice. But, actually, I was always thinking of solutions and thinking outside the box. And when I was at the devil, he would always complain, like, oh, like nothing can ever just be normal. It's all got. He would complain about this. I was always thinking of weird ways to fix things, and so, but actually, they seem to appreciate it. Maybe like what the devil criticized is just one of the blessings, like one of the talents God gave me, is just being able to figure out like solutions to problems. I just don't know. Anyways. Made a plan to meet with Music Man. Went to the other soup. Oh, okay, so this day now I went to one of the centers. So this is right before Easter. They're all trying to kill me. And I'm going to say, in case I didn't write it down, after I ate a few metal shavings, I tried to eat the pancake with no metal shavings in it, but I must have consumed a few little specks of it. And even that was enough to cause problems. I was having internal bleeding for days. Like, I was bleeding. And I know they also did witchcraft spells on me to make me bleed. And they sent someone to stab me. They were trying to kill me, and I know, because I stabbed my own face, and then I was having internal bleeding. And I did not eat any specks, the black specks that I could see. So the pancake, it looked like there was no specks in the part I ate. So they could have been doing this to my food. Like, at the end of my relationship with the devil, I was having internal bleeding. And now the same thing was happening again. So I believe this is what he was putting in my coffee at the end of our relationship. I was having a lot of internal bleeding, and I lost a lot of weight. Now, for days, I was bleeding again. This was the same thing. Whatever they put in my pancakes. So then I go to the normal group. They have a group on Tuesday. There's normally like several people there, but like the same people. But this day, there are new people that do not go to this group. So I've been going to this group for a while. And there's the same group of people that go. But this time, different people are going. People that I have never seen here before. And also, the new soup kitchen I'm going to, the man that gave me the coffee and said about dead birds, who spoke a death curse, he is at this center. He has never been here before. He came here because I was going to be there. So he came, sat down, and he was watching me. And then there was someone else at the other side. They have their cell phone out. So I think they record me. They were recording that I was still alive. And maybe by me being there and not telling them to stop recording allowed them to do witchcraft over video of me. I don't know. But I just talked to the Music Man a bit. They were doing something with Easter eggs. And I'm like, so I showed up late to this meeting, but I went anyways. And they were just doing Easter stuff. I don't celebrate that. I don't practice pagan rituals. I don't make your Easter eggs, and I don't hide your Easter eggs. So it's like, I wasn't really interested in it. But I talked to Music Man a bit. And then they went to go hide the eggs at the end. But then they were all there and they were watching, surprised after everything they've tried. I am still alive. I am still very much alive. They are concerned. Their very salvation relies on me being killed. But no, I'm not killed. And then it's like everybody's kind of heading outside. I didn't really know what they're doing. Then I realized, oh, they're making eggs. They're going to go hide the eggs out. Like there's a little... on the outside of the building, there's little grassy areas, and they're going to go hide the eggs out. And then I'm just talking to Music Man. Now, some of the other people over here, we have plans together, and then it is sabotaged after that the first time, and he is upset. But I said, I know. Like, if you deal with me, there is going to be witchcraft used. Now, he didn't believe it was witchcraft at this time, but it is, and it always is. And I know if there's anything they see that's possibly good, they try to sabotage it, they try to block it, and they try to stop it. But this is also a lesson for Music Man, is that not to get so upset right away. And if you got to keep going, and the enemy will always try to attack anything that is good. But anyways, like it was just like we were kind of happy to see each other, and then he went to go catch a bus. We made plans to meet up again and try to make a song. And then it looked like it was going to start raining. So he's like, it looks like you don't want to get caught up in the rain. And so he was telling me to hurry up and go. I don't think he was cursing me. Because, like, there were storm clouds, but it wasn't supposed to start raining for like, another half hour. He's like, but you said, he's basically, we weren't going to meet up that day. It looked like there's going to be a lot of rain. And I'm on a bicycle. So he was actually trying to tell me to go before it started raining. So, and then I headed out. And I think there was a few little sprinkles as I was going. But I didn't get rain. It did rain a lot later. So maybe that's my sign from God to stay home. I now know when it rains, I'm not going out. Okay, so this day at the soup kitchen, they said happy birthday to me. They said this, oh, that's what it was. When I read happy birthday in the last video, now I remember. I was at the soup kitchen, there's the narcissist and the new hire witch. And they said happy birthday to me. And I didn't write down what that was. Now I know. This day, because I said happy birthday again. So it was someone else's birthday, but they told me happy birthday. And I said, oh, it's not my birthday. And so then as a joke, they said happy birthday again. I know this is a satanic thing where they speak the opposite. So the opposite of being born is dying. So I knew this is what they were trying to do. They speak in reverse. The enemy speaks in reverse. They were trying to say happy death day, because this is how the devil speaks backwards. So I know what this is. They have never said this before, and this is why they're trying to kill me. Then there's a bunch of rain. A man smoking me. Oh, okay. So Puppy Man is out there. Now, the whole soup kitchen, they are really hoping that I'll just do something wrong and offend Puppy Man, who has no problem with murdering someone. He seriously is like, if somebody steals my puppy, I'll murder them. So anyway, but anyways, he's got his puppies like right out. He's got his puppies right around the soup kitchen. They're all there. No one cares. But actually, like the staff, they know. The manager wants me. The manager doesn't like me. The manager wants me taken out. So the manager is not going to stop Puppy Man from having his puppies right there and living at the soup kitchen, because I think he's hoping that Puppy Man will just murder me. That's what I'm thinking. And maybe he doesn't know. Like, I'm kind of thinking he wants me gone, but I kind of think he doesn't want me dead. But maybe I'm wrong. I just think he wants me to quit and go away. But I think he was surprised at how far things went. This is honestly what I think. I think things got out of hand. I think... So he has the Paul spirit. He has said, and he has admitted the truth, where he has a problem with not being number one. And so out of jealousy, he attacks and curses me and tries to cause a little trouble. But I do not think he wants to kill me. I really don't. Now, I could be wrong. But I don't think he wants me to be killed. And when he found out people were trying to kill me, I think he's like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself involved in? I don't think he wanted it to go that far. But if he was paying people or telling them to damage my bike or curse me or put mop water in my drink, but he didn't. That's what I'm saying, that type of thing. But he didn't actually want me to be killed. And I think when he found out they were trying to kill me, like, I don't think I could be wrong, but just I don't think he wanted that. I don't. And he. So, anyways, but Puppy Man has just got, like, so it's gonna rain this day. Right when you go out the door, there's a little area with an awning. And so he's got his puppies there under the awning. Just right when you go in and out of the soup kitchen, the puppies are right there. And then, like, they're closing. I go out the door. And then I sit my bag down for a minute because I got to put my coat on or situate something. Oh, it's pouring down rain. That's what it is. It's pouring down rain now. So I think I went to the soup kitchen for dinner. Yeah. And it wasn't really raining much. But then after we finished eating, then it started raining a lot. Yeah. So then Puppy Man, who lives outside of the soup kitchen, is now staying under the awning right when you open the door to go in and out where the food is served. And his puppies are there. And then there is a man, like 2 feet away. There's a man sitting there smoking. And and I did eat, I think I got some pork spirits. Because they said this was turkey, but it was fried. And it's like, it could have been turkey, it could have been pork. They were both fried together. So, it says in the Bible, like polluted broth. If pork was in something, then the whole broth is polluted. So maybe they normally did fry turkey in light. I don't know. But if they fried pork, then the turkey, then I would have gotten the polluted. So today I was definitely more aggressive and I was a little angrier than normal. And that's why I thought I got these pork spirits. The same one these other people get. And then they go and shoot each other. Well, anyways, I go out this door. I'm like situating my coat or my bag or something. There's a man right there smoking. And then there's like 5 people standing on this little awning. He's right next to everybody smoking on him. And I'm trying not to breathe it as I come out. I'm trying not to breathe it. Here's Puppy Man. Here's his puppies. And like, you shouldn't smoke there. And I say it again. He's like, are you talking to me? I said, yeah, you shouldn't be smoking here on all these people. I said it to him real loud. And of course, Puppy Man is right there. And Puppy Man is like, I just keep stuff's not my business. He said, stuff's not my business. I just leave it alone. And he's not like being mean, but he's saying it's like basically not my business. Just leave it alone. And then I said, he's making it my business when he's smoking on all these people. So I look at this man who is mentally unstable. They are hoping will snap and kill me. And then I look at him and I say, he's making it my business when he's smoking on all these people out here. And then I say that right to the murderer guy. And so then I finish zipping my coat and I go off on my bike. It's pouring down rain and I bike. So this man was like, she expect me to go out in the rain and smoke? She expect me to go out in the rain and smoke? So then there's another woman that's kind of an enemy. She's standing there. This man's smoking right next to her. Puppy Man's there with his puppies, all getting smoked on. I come out. I'm trying to hold my breath. I'm like, you shouldn't smoke there. And he's like, and the Puppy Man is like, I don't make it my business. And I said, he's making it my business when he smokes on all these people. Then I zip on my coat and I go off and I bike into the rain. He's like, I shouldn't stand out there in the rain. And so then, this is funny, then everybody is shocked because no one speaks up. Like, I guess they're all afraid. Like, they did not expect me to be rude. It actually wasn't rude. Because then I realized why I got so upset. At first, I was mad because I don't want to breathe in the cigarettes. But then as I'm biking away, I realized this man was smoking onto those puppies. And that's probably why I was so mad about this. He was smoking right onto these little puppies. And it's so much worse for them than me. But anyways, like the woman, everyone there is like, I can't believe she said that. So then people are alerted. Whoa, she just told crazy puppy murder man. He's making it my business. And then she sped off. And so then I see MK Ultraman and his friend. They rush out. They like, I can't believe it. She's going to fight somebody or something. I don't know. And they rush out. I know they rush out right away. They're all listening and spying. they rush out immediately. And I know because as I'm biking away, so I zip my coat off, get on my bike, and as I'm biking away, I see MK Ultraman and his new friend, the big man who was following me on the bike. They come out and they're like, and they watch me bike off, and I just look at him like I look at him like a badass, essentially. This is this was cool. So God had me eat some pork spirits. So I walked right up to that woman and I said, "There's metal shavings in my food." And the Christian churches try to kill me all the time. And I go and tell I might not have had the courage to approach her so aggressively. And then I go, and that evening, I'm like, "And don't smoke on people." And then I bike away. And MK Ultraman and his friends come out and they're like, they cannot believe that I basically just got up in Puppy Murder Man's face and said he's making it my business. So that was pretty cool. But actually, Puppy Murder Man never tried to murder me. And I don't think he necessarily disagreed with what I said either. They were hoping he would snap and kill me. But actually, God made me in a certain way. I see good in him, too. I see good in him. I saw, like, there was a period of time he had kindness in his eyes. But maybe he's just, I don't know. He's probably evil, but I'm sure. But I saw good in him, too. So that's the problem. I see good in these people. They tend to kill me. It's nuts. So I am soaking wet. Seconds are gone. Oh, when I was in line to get my seconds, there was a man in front of me that said, "Oh, the cookies are the best." He was an enemy. When I got to the line, they'd just given out all the cookies. Like, I just remembered this. So that was when I left. Before I left, they called seconds. Man in front of me was an enemy. He said the cookies are the best thing. So when they called seconds, normally like a few people will jump up and then there's not many people in line. It takes a few minutes or so for them to get up there. This day, everybody, like the whole soup kitchen, they worked together and they all jumped up and got into line. And there was a huge line in front of me. And then the man was like, "The cookies are the best." So they're all gone by the time I get there. It's like, this was on purpose because I went there for like 6 months. This does not happen. You know, there might be like 10 people in line. There was a huge line. Like when people first show up. It was that type of line. So, okay. They have really been cursing me. They cursed me. I did not get cookies. It has rained now so hard. It has been raining so hard that this is when I have more damage on my ceiling. So it used to be in the middle of the room, and now it rains so hard that the ceiling is starting to fall apart in front of the door. So it used to be in the center of the room, and now it's going over to the wall, to where I have to walk under it to get in and out of my house, and the ceiling is falling down. So they were casting a bunch of nonstop spells, I know, because it was raining, it was pouring down crazy amounts. So we just had a huge windstorm. Now we have a ton of rain. And this is unnatural amounts of rain pouring and pouring down to where it has been raining in my house for a year. And it never got to this side. But now a whole new part of my roof is damp, or not roof, the room. So the ceiling, like before, it would just pour water into the middle of the room. And it would just fall into that, and it would fall into the hole before it would get to the other side of the ceiling. But now it rained so much, it went past the hole and then started to make the ceiling fall down in front of the door. So, like, this is nuts what they do. And I think I saw some cockroaches and things in my house that weren't there before. They send these things into my house. Then I see more mice. Like, they're doing nonstop witchcraft on me. And then I do know they do weird, there's always like some weird vehicle like across the street or at a neighbor's house, or there's spies, or there's black SUVs stopped. Like always something, like almost every day. Well, today there was a furniture truck from a furniture rental company across the street, and so it was just suspicious. It was there for a while. I did not go to the soup kitchen. Oh, this is 4/11. I did not go to the soup kitchen this day. I think I finally did order the food. My father sent me the money. So now I know, Lord God in heaven, now I know when my father sends me money for food, my father called, here's $100, order food from Walmart to your house and stay home and he didn't say stay home and eat, but if I had food at my house, then I would not. And I said, well, I get food for free at the soup kitchen. No, he sent me the money and said, order Walmart food, deliver it to your house, eat that. I should have listened, but actually, I think I was supposed to do all of it. Because I kind of thought, like, when I see somebody that goes to a certain group, I'm supposed to go to that group. But now I have learned, like, I'm not going to everything they invite me to. I was supposed to in the beginning, but maybe not now. So there was a video. Oh, I was staying home. Okay, it was raining a bunch, so I stayed home. There was a video that there was only one video on YouTube, so I think that God gives me messages. There's a bunch of the same type of video, but occasionally I'll just see one video that has nothing to do with anything, and it shows up once and never again. There was a video on that said, be careful where you eat. And I watched it. Then I never saw the video again. I never saw this before, and I never saw it after. But this day that I stayed home, I was just like watching YouTube videos. My house is getting ruined more. It's pouring down rain. And it says, be careful where you eat. So I had a dream with a blonde man. Let's see. I cannot even read what I wrote here. Frustrated with me or impatient. Oh, okay. I think this is a man from my past that I only saw one day. But anyways, he was frustrated and he was impatient with me. He was giving me a ride somewhere and I needed a document. So he was just taking me someplace I needed to go. He was kind of frustrated, like I'm looking for my document and I don't see it. Then we ended up stopping at a store where it was like a whole bunch of vendors, like an old antique store a woman ran. And then I guess I asked where I could sell what I had, and she said there was like a place right behind there where I could. So I wonder what that means. The blonde man waited. He looked like somebody I met once. I was talking to the female store owner a long time, and then she made a comment like I was making her work for free. She made because I was just talking to her a lot. And then I asked her where I could sell my stuff, and she said, oh, right back there. And I was just talking, and I thought we were enjoying the conversation. But then she said something to make it clear that this was her job, and I was making her work for free. And then I kind of stopped talking, because I understood. I wasn't mad or anything, but then I understood. I said, oh, yes, I'm not valuing women's time. And so I was making fun of the woke left. They make not fun of like where women work for free or something. And so then I made a joke like this to this blonde man. And then he laughed. So like we were out of the store, we were back in the car. And so like he was kind of frustrated, like, because he was just giving me a ride and I was taking time trying to find something. Then I'm talking to this woman a long time and then she makes a comment to make it clear, like, you know, I am working, you know. And then, so then I make a joke. And then he laughs. And then we're kind of like friends after that. So I don't, Then my mom, my Jezebel mom called me and I did not. They are trying to murder me right now. So no way am I going to answer that phone. She hasn't called me in like a year. She has not called me in a year. She hasn't called me at all. She had texted like a year ago or something. And I didn't respond to that. Well, now I see while they're trying to murder me and I'm at home and I do not go to the soup kitchen and I'm not going to these other things. She calls. And of course her phone number ends in my birth year. And like you can't choose your phone number. This is nuts. Her phone number, or actually my birth year is in her phone number. Her phone number adds up to a 33 and it ends in a 22. So 33 is the percentage of angels that fell. You add up all the digits, it's 33. But it has my birth year and it ends into 22. So, Okay, the cedar meal, the Passover cedar meal that I was invited to, and that they were going to give me a ride, and I gave them my phone number. They were going to pick me up, and we're going to have this biblical meal just like Jesus ate. Well, then it's pouring down rain. It was way too like the streets are flooding. It was way too much. I was thinking about possibly biking, but it was like I would be biking in a flood. It's like, well, I mean, it's only like this much water on the road, but still, who wants to bike in water? Not me. So then they were supposed to pick me up, and I'm waiting. They never called me, they never texted me, and they never showed up. And so I know this had to be the Lord. They were probably going to ghost me and stand me up from the beginning, but actually, I think they were trying to get me to trust them because they poisoned me. So that Sunday, a lot of times they will have a free Sunday evening meal that they serve. But since I was in the bathroom while they were trying to take the children to the YMCA and I overheard their plans, then they tried to poison me. So I think they always knew that they were going to be busted by God. And so they were trying to make it seem like they were trying to help me and be friends, but then, get rid of me. And they invited me to this meal. And that was just another way to get me to trust them. Or maybe they actually planned on picking me up, but they just didn't. And maybe they were going to try to poison me there, but they just thought maybe they wouldn't get away with it. I have no idea. I guess maybe I won't find out until God shows me. Maybe God will expose it one day. But they never picked me up. I thought about biking. I couldn't, there was so much rain pouring down that there was, inches of water on the road that I could have made it, but they might have even canceled it. I don't know, because there was so much rain. I mean, probably not with a vehicle, but yeah, maybe they planned on me being dead before the cedar meal, because they tried to poison me on Sunday. So I don't know, what day is the cedar meal? It says 4/11. So I don't know what day of the week this is. Yeah, they probably thought I'd already be dead by now. Then I have April 2nd, 2026. I look in my bag, my pen is unscrewed. This has happened several times just to let me know, if I'm in the gym, they will go in my locker, get in my bag, unscrew my pen, and then just leave it. Just to let me know. They know what locker is mine. I mean, they just do things like this. Woman ditched. Oh, okay. Someone said go ahead. I think they cursed me. Bible verse was John 13:34, which does add up to an 11, I think. A new command I give you: love one another as I have loved you. Oh, so this is right before Easter. This is all right, but the week before Easter, just slam, trying to murder me nonstop. They brought in an assassin. That I was bleeding internally for actually this was 4 days, I think. I think I was bleeding internally for 4 days too. I mean, this is nuts. I stabbed my own face. My face was bleeding. I'm bleeding out of all of this. I'm not trying to embarrass myself, but witchcraft can do all of this. So the people from the music charity are at the soup kitchen, and for Easter, to celebrate Easter, they have a hand washing station. And then I after I get my tray, I'm going, and then they said, "Would you like us to wash your hands?" It's cause what Jesus did. And then I'm thinking, I don't think there was a hand washing, but I don't say anything. I mean, they probably did wash their hands, yes. But I kind of thought, it doesn't sound quite right, but I didn't question it too much. I figured there's something going on that is supposed to happen, and so I sit and I'm my hands are already clean. I could do it after. And then they say, oh, this is a reason. It's how Jesus has washed his hands before he ate his last meal. That's what it was. Before Jesus ate his last meal. I said, oh, and I sat down. I said, okay, even though my hands were clean, and there are people with dirty hands whose hands are going in the same water. So it's a bowl of water. They dip the hand in the water, wipe it with a rag, and go. So basically, my hands were clean. and the water probably was not. But anyways, I knew this was probably an important ritual that symbolized something. So then I sat down my tray, and they're like, you can sit it on the table. I said, oh, I'm going to sit it here. There was something right behind them. I sat it on that because I said, people mess with my stuff. I can't sit it over there. And then they did the hand washing. Then I go to sit down, and I know they're all trying to kill me. But I mentioned to someone else, like, it's just a reversal. Like, what happened in the past is being undone now. And then, like, after me, I see another man go through the line, and he's like, it was a foot washing. I'm like, yeah, that does sound right. And they're like, oh, would you like us to wash your feet for you? He's like, oh, no. He's like, oh, no. And then they washed his hands. But he was like, it was a foot washing, not a hand washing. I'm like, that was my confirmation. That what they think is going to happen is not going to happen. So before, it was the feet, and now it's the hands. So yes, Jesus' last meal, they had fried pork, so I didn't eat much, but I did have a lot of coffee, so that was a blessing. I enjoyed the coffee. Now they had a really good song playing in the soup kitchen, and it was "My God is an Awesome God." I like this song, and it was playing. Sometimes, like occasionally, they have a song playing, and I just really like it. They have the one about the drowning Nephilim. They have that several times in there. I like that song. Let's see. I got my guitar. It was 77 degrees outside. I went to Music Man's house. Now, the witches and warlocks, we were at the group discussing meeting. They overheard. So now they have used witchcraft, and now he can no longer get into his computer, and he's very upset. So all of his software to record music is on his computer. I'm not going to say too much, but here's what I am going to say. As he was very upset, and he didn't necessarily believe in witchcraft. He thinks stuff is physical. He doesn't necessarily believe in all that. And this has been made clear. And I might have thought a lot of this is just, in the past, but now I know it is all God. So I know all of it. And I am under severe spiritual warfare. They are attacking me. They attack me all the time. But they have been going wild trying to murder me and cause all the trouble they can right before Easter. So now, this was the first time we planned on meeting up together and making a song. I show up at his house. He's really upset, and I just got my guitar that you plug in, which I was going to take to his house because he had the equipment to plug it into and to record songs. And then I show up and he's like, you might as well take it because no, I can't get into it. He was really upset. He could not get into his computer. He could not log in. It was some two-factor authentication on a cell phone. He does not have a cell phone. I say I get the same thing. That the dog is drinking. So I don't want to say too much. But he just thought happened by rant. He just thought it happened by... Good boy. He thought it happened by chance, but I know it was witchcraft. And the reason he was targeted is because of me. And I think I mentioned this too, but he was really upset. Like, he was trying to tell me not to leave the guitar there. I planned on leaving it. He wanted me to take it because he was really upset. His computer, he couldn't get into his computer. He couldn't make music. And he's like, well, we can't really do much. He was very upset. And then I told him it's witchcraft, and he didn't necessarily believe it. But I said, when I'm involved, there will be witchcraft. So, and I was also saying, like, good things will happen after Easter, the resurrection. So, but it was just a little discouraging because it seemed like last time I saw him, like, we were happy to see each other. And now when I show up, he's just really upset. And it's kind of depressing, actually. But God allows things, and it wasn't meant to be at that time. But I know the coven attacked him and his computer. Who knows how many hours? They probably stayed up all night chanting, doing mirror and candle work. So whatever frustration they caused us, I'm sure they did worse to themselves. But we weren't able to make songs. I went to the gym. Now they know I am being framed for causing, like, putting something on the equipment They have been informed I'm being framed. I did take one of their cards and I wrote Paula Tarsus on it and left, so maybe they will see that. And they're like, and I mentioned to someone else, like, yeah, people are kind of messing with stuff trying to frame me. And they're like, do you think it's someone that works here? And I said, possibly. I said, maybe. 'Cause I don't know. But I don't trust anyone named Paul now. I'm just going to say, because this man is named Paul, and actually, he started working there not that long ago, and he met me at another church that is run by, there's enemies in this church. And then as I was going into the church, he said, hello, Jennifer. He said, do you know my name? And then he said it was Paul. I'm like, so yeah, he probably is. He probably did start working at my gym. And I think he was probably telling people when I was there too, and then they would come in. And so I don't know. Maybe he's innocent. He could be innocent. I don't know. It's just suspicious. That's all I'm going to say. So wait outside of room. I saw a witch. Oh, okay. So after I used an equipment, I kind of stood behind a wall a little bit, and I was going to see if I could catch who was trying to. So I knew people were going on the equipment right after I used it and putting stuff on it. So then I kind of stood in the hallway for a minute to like see if somebody would come up and try to mess with stuff. And I did. I saw a witch. Well, I'm going to say witch. Maybe it wasn't a witch. Okay, maybe it wasn't a witch. Okay, I saw a woman, and she was heading straight for the equipment I just stopped using. She was heading straight for the equipment, and you got to sign up for this. So it's like you can't just go straight. Like this is in the back area. She was going straight for it, and I was like there's kind of a wall, and it kind of curves, and I was standing behind it a little bit, so I could see where the equipment was. And then she was going down the hall. She couldn't see me. She's looking straight at the equipment I just used, and she's walking straight for it. And then I'm here. And then once she notices I'm there, then she turns, and then she goes out the door and leaves. Now, I was planning on leaving at this time anyways. So I saw a woman was going in. And so I knew she was the one that was going to do this. But they can just pay someone else to do it, and they had been, because it didn't stop with her. So then I was going to leave anyways. A few minutes later, I get my stuff, and I get on my bike to leave. Or maybe it's only like 1 minute. I don't know. I unlock my bike, and I'm leaving. So I see this woman. She's got like an expensive white SUV. And I don't know. Maybe I see this SUV all the time spying on me. But anyways, I bike right past her. And I see her because... So she's got a really nice, maybe a $60,000 white SUV. It looks just like the black S. So there's black SUVs a lot of times will park around, and they spy on me. I think maybe these people are CIA or something because of the type of vehicle, and it's kind of expensive. Well, she had a white one. And so I was leaving. I didn't know it was her car at first. She's got the trunk open, and she's putting stuff in the trunk. And then I noticed, this is the woman that was heading straight to the equipment. And she was in her trunk, putting stuff in her trunk. So... she brought something in to put, and she was putting it in her trunk so she wouldn't get caught. But I saw, and she had an expensive vehicle. It looked like a brand new car. So, the soup kitchen... Tactical guy. Oh, a tactical guy tried to give me an M&M cookie. Okay, so I went through the line. And they had this like tray with a bunch of cookies. And then I saw the person in front of me get an M&M cookie. It looked really good. And I'm like, do you have another M&M cookie? And then they dug down and found one. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I was real happy. Because it looked like maybe they got the last one. But then I asked, and they looked and found another one. Then there was a man ahead of me. He was like 2 people ahead, and he's like, oh, I wanted one. Or not like that, but he's like, oh, well, would I be able? Because he had like a chocolate chip. And so, and they looked, and there was one more. And so we traded. These are real big cookies. Like, they're like $3 cookies from a gas station. So I got an M&M cookie. He's like, oh, what? And he asked if he could trade his, because he looked like he really wanted an M&M cookie. But he didn't. He just did that. He just did that because I wanted the M&M cookie. So then I sat down. I was eating for a while. he comes over, he's got the M&M cookie in the bag, and he goes to give it to me. So he traded to get the M&M cookie, and he came over, he was going to give it to me. I said, no, I'm not allowed to take stuff. And then he was trying to curse me. They're all trying to kill me. So, but I would have liked the cookie if it didn't result in my death. I guess there's a few other things that would not be worth a cookie either. I declined it. But actually, a woman that worked there gave me a banana. I know this was an attack. Then I saw another man was waving for one, was upset he didn't get it. But I already got cursed by taking the banana. I thought maybe about giving it to him, but I didn't. He attacked me before. This was the man that spoke the curse over my cookie before. He's like, oh, the cookies are the best here. And then they all swarmed the line, said, oh, the cookies are the best. And I got up there, they're all gone. Well, this is the same man that wanted that banana. And I looked at him, and I really thought, maybe I should give him this banana. But then I didn't. This man just cursed me. And so I wouldn't get a cookie. Or just to let me know the cookies are good, so when I got up there, then I would be thinking about how I didn't get one. So no, I did not give you my banana. And it looked like a really good banana. But it was gone. It fell out of my bag. And I lost the banana. So this was the curse. Here was the curse. The woman gave me a banana to curse me, and then the banana fell out of my bag, and that was the curse. So I just never got any banana. And I guess this man, I really thought maybe about giving it to him because he wanted a banana. I didn't give it to him. Well, he actually spoke curses over me that I would get hurt on my bike before. So maybe this is another lesson from the Lord. Don't give things to your enemy. They want to destroy you. But I did see him recently. Maybe he's coming around. I don't know. So I got some free shoes there. By the free clothes thing, I got a pair of free shoes. The woman manager said she had more shoes like that. Like she acted like she was going to bring in, oh, you like that type of shoe? She was going to bring in more shoes like that. So I can come back, and then each shoe I take is a curse. I don't know. But maybe, this is the thing, this woman is either really nice or she's also involved in trying to murder me. Maybe. But she's just she's smarter about it to where I just don't even know. I don't know whether she's good or bad. So she's probably really evil. She's just smarter than a lot of people, so I can't tell. I don't know. Let's see. Then I was on Facebook and I saw they just had this dance. So they have been making up dances just so I can't go. And so I get disappointed. They are making up dances. They got recovery balls and dances, and then there's all these prom dresses you get to wear them for free, and they get to do dress up, and they have their Women's Day. They get their hair and nails done. And they do their makeup, which I disagree with. And then there's all these tubs full of dresses to try on, and then you get to go to the ball and dance. Well, I looked on Facebook, and here's the whole group in their outfits having fun at the dance. It's like prom night. It's sober prom. They're all having a good time dancing. And of course, this is 20 miles away. So obviously, I am not going to bike there. And they knew everyone from the groups was going, and I was going to the groups, and I don't have a car. So this was a planned attack. So when I went to Facebook, I saw them being so happy at this dance in their outfits. And so I'm at I'm at the soup kitchen, and I walk up and I see the narcissist, and I say, oh, it looks like you had fun at the dance. I saw it on Facebook. And it's like, oh, it was good. And so he probably wanted me to be sad about it, Honestly, I don't like dances. But I don't like being excluded. But, when I know it's an attack, then it's not going to hit me the same way. I'm just going to say, I know they did it on purpose. But, maybe they had a good time. And they weren't even going to have the dance at all. They made the dance. They held the dance on purpose because I was there. And they made this as an attack on me. So this is what God is doing. They created all of these recovery groups to get me to go. And they created the dances because they said, oh, we haven't had one in a while. The last one was 4 years ago. So they made this dance just so they could exclude me. What happens is these people that need help are now going to recovery groups, and they are going to dances, and they are actually doing some things. Instead of just attacking people all the time, they are going to recovery groups, talking about their problems and doing dances, and then, they're putting on dresses and things. So this is good for them, actually. I'm going to say this is good for them. So I was glad they had fun, and I said I will go to the, and it was like, and then the narcissist is caught, and I said, well, it's too far to bike, plus I was still a little sick. So I know they actually drugged me and made me sick, and they knew I needed a ride and didn't offer one. And I said, oh, I'll go to the next one, and I let him know. I'll go to the next one. So Puppy Man, okay, was there, I guess. Homeless man said he might head to the library, but I went to the library. He was not there. He lied again. I know that's how you know they're a witch or warlock, because they say I'll be here and they're not there and someone else is there. Like, that's one dead giveaway, and they don't even give you any explanation or say anything. Like, if they call you later and be like, oh, this thing came up, that's not a witch. Like, they actually just don't show up and don't tell you why. It's just they leave you confused. No, but I know this was an attack, because they just lie. And he wasn't allowed to anyways. They can only do what they're told. There was a Bible study. And, okay, so this is what it's about. So, okay, so this homeless man mentioned the Bible study, and he said he might go, or said he was going to go. He was thinking about going to the Bible study. And this is the one where they sent the assassin. So he was not there, but he was saying, oh, I'm going to be, like, acting like he's my friend, and he was thinking of going, and they were going to kill me here. Well, guess what? He didn't go, and I wasn't killed. That was just to lure me. They try to invite me to pretend to be my friend, and then they're not there. And so then I see him at the soup kitchen, and I said, you weren't at the Bible study. Why didn't you go to the Bible study? and then he said something like, well, I was thinking, and I might be there and I might not. You never know. And I told him about having integrity, and that is a quality of God. I told him to have integrity. But anyways, he sees I'm very much alive. And I'm like, why weren't you at the Bible study? So I was at the library. The China Spy, and I couldn't tell, I saw him from the back. I think the China Spy was in there. There's little rooms you can go in that are quiet study rooms. I think he was in one of those asleep. And I walk by, I'm like, that looks, and I was going to knock on it, but I didn't. It's like China Spy was sleeping in the library. That's real good. He loves his country. He's lived here his whole life. But, he really talks great about China. But yeah, he's homeless. He's living at the high school parking lot, and he is sleeping in the library, which they will kick you out of the library for that, and they will ban you from the library for that, I think. So then I saw someone I recognized, and I talked to him a little bit, and he was just off work, and he talked about he worked at this factory, he was overworked, and then I was like, yeah, the people that work the least get paid the most, and the people that work the most get paid the least, and we totally agreed. It was just a short conversation. But this is somebody that, like, maybe they were an enemy, or they just were a person I'd seen, and then, like, we really had, like, it was a short conversation, but, like, we just really had a good conversation, and we agreed, and so it was just nice. So then it was anime club time. So they decided to watch a new anime. I was there. So instead of starting off one in the middle of the series, they started a new anime. And this one was called Demon Killers. And Oni Demon Killers. And there was a demon child. And actually it looked like a real child, but it was really a demon. And, like, someone didn't kill it because it looked like a child, and then it killed everybody in a whole family. So it's like, yeah, these are the narcissists. These are actually, the devil does, like, I was fake married to a devil. So I was like, and I was telling him, this is all true. And I was telling him stuff about my life, and it's just like the anime. So I said, yeah, this is all what really happens. And I don't know, they kind of didn't believe it. like Like, these, you would call anime fans otakus or dorks, okay? You say that. You hear that. But when I was talking, I probably sounded like that to them. I sounded like the dork to them, but I was saying this is all based on the true story. This stuff all in the anime is about angels and demons. So, anyways, then they watched another anime about cat. Everything turned into a cat. I don't understand, but it's kind of funny idea, I guess. They actually told me about some new music making apps that are maybe even better than what Music Man makes. So that's good. I'll probably finish this part and then close my video up because this is more than 2 hours. So, and they mentioned a pawn shop to check out. They mentioned some equipment and stuff being there. So, back at the soup kitchen, there was a Christian there that was mad, grumpy, disappointed that I was still there. I lost my, I was going to the anime club, and then when I got in, so the anime club is held at the library. They rent a room at the library, and it's down in the basement area. So then when I got there and I sat my bag down, I realized my banana was gone. My banana must have fallen out of my bike when I was biking. But I was looking forward to that banana too, but it used up a curse they might have used to try to kill me, so that's probably a good thing. So then this time, they're like, well, do you have to leave after this first hour to go to a Bible study? And I said, no, I think I'll stay here today. It's normally like an attack. Like, it's just some group they make to attack me. So I just kind of just said something like, because I told them before I was married to the devil, instead I got hybrid children. I just quickly mentioned this. They probably think I'm nuts. But maybe they believe it. I don't know. And I said, actually, it's like they don't really like me. They just create this group to, and then they like believed it, and they understood that right away. And like, I'm going to stay here today. So after the first hour, they watched animes. And the second part, they have a discussion and they talk about things. And then there is a man that works at the library that he comes down for the second hour. So they were all trying to murder me this week. And so this is also protection from the Lord. Because I just stopped in the library like a few days before. Or like earlier, maybe Monday or something. I stopped in the library and I saw the woman that goes to the anime club. And so that was my sign from God. Go to the anime club this week. And I got in there and they're like, you're going to leave after this first hour because they have 2 hours. And I said, no, I think I'm going to stay here today. And so no Bible study, no more assassins. And so this time, then there was a man that works in the library and he wears a mask over his face all the time. And there's no reason why. He took it off for a split second. There was no deformity, nothing wrong. But he just chooses to wear a mask all of the time, so I don't know. But anyways, he came downstairs for the second part, and he was leading a discussion group, and he was really into anime. And I think they told him about some of the stuff that I was telling him about. Like, it's all angels and demons and stuff, and they probably told him what I said, because then there was another meeting. So they have this meeting like every 2 weeks. So I went to one, and then I skipped one. They probably told him a lot of stuff I said, and then I went to this one. This man came in. He wasn't like looking at me a lot or anything. But like I did mention a few other things. Like a few other things that happened and stuff they might think is interesting. Like I mentioned like the bike theft ring and the narcissist running this and them hiring people to stab and break things. And so I just mentioned that quickly. And but anyways, like as I was leaving the library, the anime club was over, and as I'm leaving, I saw this man works at the library, and he came down for this second hour to be in the anime group. And then as I'm leaving the library, he's way back at the desk, at the help desk. He's like probably, I don't know, say like 50 feet back, like quite a ways back in the middle of the library. And I'm leaving. I'm like going out the door. And then he looks at me and he sees me go. And I'm wondering if maybe he noticed something. Like, I think God showed him the Holy Spirit. So how cool is this? Like, because I just show up and I look silly with my hat and stuff. And so I look like, I've seen some animes before. How cool is God? Because like when I was young, I used to like to read the manga. And I never really watched much of the shows, but I would read the little comics. And that was one thing that helped me learn Japanese. And there's a lot of animes about the girl that's an angel, falls down from the sky, has got superpowers. Oh my goodness, what did the Lord do to this day? So this man is actually the biggest anime fan, and he works in the library. I just saw him when I was in the library before, and I didn't know he was the man. So I actually went next to the help desk. So actually, this is something. When I stopped in and I saw that woman, I went to the help desk and I picked up a pamphlet and I was looking at it for a minute. And he's like, and then he came over and asked, "Is there something I can help you with?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just looking." And then I left. This was the man that went down to the anime club. And then he went back to his desk because I was leaving. And the way he looked at me as I was leaving, maybe God showed him the Holy Spirit or something. It's making me look like one of these, like the women that's got superpowers that falls down from the sky. Yeah, my superpower is in prayer. It's like on my own. It's like the God power. It's not me doing anything. It's the Lord using me to do stuff. So I don't want to get this confused. I am not magical, but when you follow God and you follow God's rules and you pray, you can move mountains, as it says. One good way to start moving mountains is by not eating pork. And of course it's really easy to follow the 10 commandments and don't eat pork. That's just really easy to do, honestly. You're not trying to steal. You're not trying to lie to people. You're not trying to murder people, and you're not eating pork. Well, there's one that most people do. And God just won't be able to protect you to that same level if you're eating pork. You're opening doors to the spirit realm. So anyways, what I'm saying is, I think that man, I saw him looking straight at me as I was leaving. And it wasn't because I'm a girl. It wasn't because I'm a human. It was something spiritual that he noticed. And I think it was like in the anime, here's a superhero, and then sometimes people notice, like it was like that. And this is a man that loves anime. They actually, during this group, it was kind of funny. During the group, they pulled up, oh, here's a survey about you could vote on what was the best anime, and you could fill it out. And he's like, actually, I'm going to fill this out later in private. He didn't want anyone to see how he was going to vote. It's just an online survey. But anyways, he was very serious. So when he looked at me leaving, I looked like a real life anime. Like, praise God. That is so cool. That is so cool. That, like, it's kind of got, like, normally I just wear this all the time now, and I wear this all the time. I wear it on my bike. It keeps my hair in place, but since I bike everywhere, it blocks the sun out of my eyes. This is so comfortable. I got this on Temu. But anyways, it keeps me safe too. It's blessed. So it keeps me safe on my bicycle. I just wear this all the time. I'm used to it. So now, whenever there's an enemy, they will comment on my hat. Enemies always comment on my hat. So this is a quick way to identify an enemy, because they will say something rude about my hat. Like, you don't comment, like if this is a woman, why would you do, they say something kind of snarky about my hat. And this is just an easy way to identify an enemy. So, I don't know. But, like, if you're into anime, this actually becomes kind of cool. So, praise God. It's like people know who I am now. Anyways, we have to be humbled. We have to be very humble to be raised high. But that was fun. And it's not really, like, I used to like anime. It's just that I haven't seen it in so long. I don't know what any of the new shows are. I don't know what the regular shows are. I don't even really follow news or anything anymore, so... but that was cool. It's like how God vindicates us, and like things we thought about when we were teenagers. Like when I was 20 years old, I liked the manga and stuff, and now in my 40s, like God just blew my mind. Like I'm leaving and there's people, like anime fans, looking at me like I am an anime character. Like, wow, thank God. And God can do this for you too. For those who are obedient to God's law, God will do this to you too. If you follow God and you're following God's commandments, God will bless you. Those things you thought of that you would have liked 20 years ago, they're going to come around again as God rewards his servants. Like the good people will be rewarded by God. And I'm just out here first to let you guys know that this is what God can do and God will do for you too. But step one might be to stop eating bacon. This is just such a simple thing. Because, like, people know not to lie, cheat, steal, commit adultery, or murder. They already know that, but they don't know that eating pork is really, it's condemned. Those who eat pork will be condemned. That's like really looked down upon. They are possessing themselves or being influenced by spirits. And I know, as I just mentioned, they trick me into eating pork. They tricked me. So this is not a sin on my part if I'm tricked. God sends me in to where I don't have money for food, and I have to go to these places to get food. And they put it in my stuff and lie to me. So then I noticed what happens when I ate it. I was angry. And so I got right up into Murder Puppy's face, and I said, they're making it my business. And then the whole group comes out to see, is she going to be murdered now? No. I just left, and I looked cool. I looked like a badass. And when I saw Puppy Man later, we waved and we were happy. So he was not offended by that. And maybe if someone stole your puppy, you might want to murder them. I can actually understand that. If someone stole my puppies, God would take care of it. I'm not allowed to murder. But I might think about, no, I wouldn't think about it because I know that I'm not allowed. But I also know that God would not allow that to happen. God would probably just destroy, if somebody ever stole or killed one of my dogs, which they're not allowed to, but if somebody did, I can only imagine what God would do to them. Something worse than death is what I can imagine. So don't even think about it. But anyways, I think I'm going to leave it here. My next entry will be January, February, March, April 3rd. Thanks for watching. God bless you.